Welcome back to Horoscope TV.
Yes, welcome.
If you are a Leo, you are going to want to get comfortable and really listen closely to this because this episode is dedicated entirely to you.
Completely for you guys.
Yeah. We are looking at your forecast for the week of July 27 to August 2, 2026. And, the reason you absolutely need to tune in is because you are walking right into a golden era of personal growth.
A huge one.
Right. Tucked right in the middle of this week is like literally one of the luckiest days of the entire year for you. And we are going to make sure you know exactly how to handle it.
That is right. And everything we are going to analyze today is based directly on the latest astrological charts. We are looking at the actual geometry in the sky over this week. So, where the planets are placed, the angles they are making to each other, the moon phases.
Just all the moving parts.
Exactly. All those movements and how they map out for a Leo. We want to give you the exact breakdown of how this changing energy is going to impact your personal life, your relationships, your career, and your bank account.
Oh, everybody loves the bank account part.
For sure.
But, I have been looking over the astrological charts for this week, and the main thing that keeps jumping out at me is this really intense push and pull. It is like this mix of expansion and friction.
Yeah, that is a great way to put it.
It is like the universe is trying to give Leos this massive upgrade, right? But it's forcing them to clear out a lot of emotional baggage first.
Yes. You have to clean house.
Exactly. Imagine holding a winning lottery ticket, but realizing you first have to clean out the most messy, stressful room in your house before you can actually go to the store and cash it in.
That is such a good analogy for this week.
Right. So before we look at how you are dealing with other people, we really have to look at the powerful changes happening inside you. So let's start with July 27.
Okay, let's do it.
There is a very intense alignment happening right away. The sun is exactly opposite Pluto.
Yeah, that is a serious way to start the week.
Really serious.
When we talk about an opposition in the astro charts, we are basically talking about a 180-degree angle. Picture the Earth right in the middle. Right. With the sun pulling on one side and Pluto pulling on the other. It is a cosmic tug of war.
Wow, okay.
And the sun represents your core identity, your ego, and, the way you shine. But Pluto, on the other hand, is the slowest moving planet we look at.
Takes forever to move.
Exactly. And it represents the underworld, the hidden things, and really deep, permanent change.
Which usually means something has to break for something new to grow,
Yes.
right? I mean, I think people hear transformation and they picture like a fun makeover montage in a movie.
Right, like trying on clothes.
Yeah. But a Pluto opposition is not getting a new haircut. It is more like a tree that has completely outgrown its pot.
Oh, I like that.
Like the pot used to be a safe, comfortable home, but now the roots are totally bound up. To keep growing, you actually have to shatter the pot.
Yes.
It is messy, and you lose your familiar boundaries, but it is, the only way to survive.
That is a highly accurate way to describe the mechanics of Pluto. I mean, Pluto does not care about what is comfortable.
No, it really doesn't.
Yeah. It cares about what is real. During this opposition on July 27, Pluto is going to force you to look at the outdated parts of your identity.
The stuff that just doesn't work anymore.
Right. Maybe you have been holding on to a certain image of yourself or a habit that makes you feel safe but actually holds you back. The tension of that 180-degree pull is going to make it impossible to ignore those things anymore. You have to let them drop away.
It sounds super heavy, but looking at the exact same day in the charts, there is this fascinating relief valve.
There is, thank goodness.
Right. While you are dealing with this heavy pot-shattering energy, the sun is also forming a trine to Neptune and a sextile to Uranus.
Yes, the geometry here is incredibly helpful.
So explain that a bit. What does a trine actually do?
So a trine is a 120-degree angle, which is the most flowing, supportive angle you can have in astrology.
Yeah.
The energy just moves without any roadblocks. And Neptune is the planet of dreams, intuition, and spiritual connection. So while Pluto is tearing down the old structures, Neptune is pouring in this smooth, calming wave of creative inspiration.
Wow. Okay, and then you have the sextile to Uranus. A sextile is a 60-degree angle, right?
That is right.
It is more like a stepping stone or an opportunity you have to reach out and grab.
Exactly. It requires a little bit of action on your part, but it is a very positive angle.
Okay.
Uranus is the planet of sudden insights and breakthroughs. So if you put this whole picture together for July 27, You are being forced to let go of an old identity, but you are immediately being handed the intuition and the sudden flashes of genius to build a new one.
So it's not just breaking stuff to break it.
No, not at all. It is clearing the land so you can build something much better.
Okay, I want to talk about how this actually feels in the physical body.
Oh, that is a great point.
Because when you map out this kind of planetary geometry, especially in opposition involving the sun, that tension has to go somewhere, right?
It absolutely does.
The sun in Leo gives you this massive radiant energy. You feel like you can take on the world, but that hidden pull from Pluto can create this deep underlying stress.
It is a lot to hold.
It is like you are revving a car engine while the emergency brake is still on. You might feel a strange tightness in your chest or, get a sudden headache or just feel exhausted for no clear reason.
The connection between the astrological charts and our physical bodies is so important to watch. When you have tension in the sky, you literally hold tension in your muscles.
That makes total sense.
So the advice from the astro data here is to lean heavily on that flowing Neptune energy to manage the physical stress.
How do you do that practically?
Well, Neptune rules the intangible. So things like yoga, meditation, deep breathing, or even just sitting in silence by a body of water.
Okay, simple stuff.
Very simple. You just need to give your mind a soft place to land while Pluto does the hard work.
So, do some stretching, drink a lot of water, and just allow the messy feelings to happen on Monday.
Exactly. Just let it happen.
Because you really want to clear the decks for what is coming just 2 days later. July 29 is the day I keep circling in red pen.
Oh, yes. This is the big one.
The sun forms a perfect conjunction with Jupiter in Leo.
This is the golden ticket. A conjunction means that from our view on Earth, the sun and Jupiter are sitting in the exact same degree of the zodiac.
Right on top of each other.
Right. Their energies are completely overlapping and fusing together. And Jupiter is the planet of expansion, luck, abundance, and higher learning.
It is basically a giant cosmic magnifying glass. Whatever Jupiter touches, it makes it bigger.
Precisely. And right now, it is touching the sun, which rules Leo.
Wow.
It is magnifying your core vitality, your confidence, and your presence. This is why we are calling it one of the luckiest days of the entire year for you.
That is so exciting.
It really is. When you have this kind of alignment in your own sign, you radiate this undeniable warmth and authority. You are going to feel a surge of optimism that is not just empty hype. It is a genuine, deep-seated belief in your own abilities.
I feel like we need to analyze what luck actually means in this context.
Yes, let's break that down.
Because people think luck is just a bag of money falling out of the sky. But looking at how Jupiter functions, it is more about expanded awareness, right?
Exactly.
You suddenly see the opportunity that was sitting in front of you the whole time.
Yeah.
Your confidence is so high that you finally take the risk to speak up or ask for the favor or, apply for the thing. The luck is just the universe responding to your massive expanded footprint.
That is a vital distinction. Jupiter provides the open door, but the sun in Leo provides the courage to actually walk through it.
You have to do the walking.
Right. You have to claim the space. You have to be willing to be seen. And what is really beautiful is how the charts show this energy settling down as we move toward the weekend.
Oh, good. Because you can't just run on high speed forever.
No, you would burn out.
Yeah.
So by August 2, the astro data shows you entering what is called a benefic enclosure.
I love this concept, but I want to challenge how we normally think about it.
Okay, let's hear it.
The standard explanation is that the benefics, Venus and Jupiter, the planets that bring easy, good things, they create the sandwich effect.
Got it.
They surround the moon or the sun and act like a protective bubble. But if you are a Leo, who just spent the week expanding and taking charge, does getting put in a comfortable protective bubble actually breed laziness? Do you lose your momentum?
It is a fair question, but you have to look at the function of rest in a cycle of growth. The benefic enclosure is not a trap. It is a recovery room.
Recovery room, okay.
Think about a muscle. You build the muscle by putting it under extreme tension. That was the Pluto opposition on Monday.
The pot shattering.
Right. Then you flood it with nutrients and expansion. That was the Jupiter conjunction on Wednesday. But the muscle actually grows when you rest.
Oh, wow.
The benefic enclosure over the weekend is that required rest. It shields you from outside stress so your physical and emotional systems can absorb all the massive changes that just happened.
That makes total sense. You cannot just expand forever without taking a breath. So you spend the weekend wrapped in this healing energy, letting your glowing health restore itself.
Yes, exactly.
That wraps up the personal energy sector. But obviously, when you are vibrating at this level, And Jupiter has basically turned you into a human magnet. It is going to heavily impact the people around you.
Without a doubt.
Which brings us to the relationship zone.
And the relationship forecast for this week is loud.
Very loud.
The exact same day you have that incredible Sun and Jupiter conjunction. July 29, we also have a full moon in Aquarius.
Okay, let's unpack that. Because Aquarius sits directly across from Leo on the zodiac wheel.
Yes, it does.
So we are back to that opposition geometry we talked about earlier. The Sun is in Leo, shining a light on you and your individual needs. And the moon is fully illuminated in Aquarius, shining a light on the collective, your partnerships, and how you fit into the group.
Exactly. Full moons are always moments of peak illumination.
They light things up.
They really do. The cycle that started 6 months ago during the new moon is now fully visible. Because this is happening in your relationship sector, you are going to experience a profound realization about your partnerships. The charts show a moment of absolute clarity.
Let me stop you there, though.
No.
Because when people hear a relationship is reaching a peak moment, their first instinct is to panic.
Right. They assume the worst.
They think a peak means you have gone as far as you can go, and now the relationship is either going to end or it is all downhill from here.
I understand why people feel that way, but in the context of these specific charts, a peak moment is not about an ending.
Okay.
It is about a breakthrough in understanding. Since we all know the Sun in Leo is giving you this massive boost in self-worth right now, the Aquarius full moon is acting like a giant mirror.
Oh, mirror.
Yes, it is reflecting your new Jupiter-sized self-worth back to you through the eyes of your partner or, the people you were dating.
Oh, that is a great way to look at it.
Yeah.
You are not necessarily finding the perfect partner. You are realizing that your baseline has shifted.
Exactly that.
Because you value yourself more, you automatically require more from the people sharing your space. You tolerate less nonsense.
Right. You just won't accept it.
The clarity of the full moon is you finally seeing the reality of the dynamic. You might look at your partner and think, yes, this person truly supports my growth.
Like the opposite.
Right. If you are single, you might suddenly understand a toxic pattern you keep repeating, and you just decide to stop doing it.
That is the exact mechanism at work here. It is an intellectual and emotional awakening. And because of the Sun and Jupiter, you are incredibly attractive while all this is happening. People are drawn to the warmth and the confidence you are putting out.
But the charts for July 29 are incredibly busy, aren't they?
There is so much happening on that one day.
Right in the middle of this magnetic energy and this full moon clarity, we also have Venus forming a square to Mars.
Yes. And this is where the friction of the week really shows up in your love life.
Oh boy.
A square is a 90-degree angle. It is a sharp corner. Two planets are trying to move forward, but they are stuck at this intersection, crashing into each other.
Like a literal car crash in the sky.
Pretty much. Venus represents what we value, how we love, and what brings us harmony. And Mars represents our raw drive, our ambition, and how we fight.
So we have the planet of peace crashing into the planet of war. That is a classic recipe for an argument.
It is, but you have to analyze how it applies to Leo right now.
Right, because Leos are already fired up.
Exactly. You are already feeling huge and confident from Jupiter. When Venus squares Mars, the tension isn't just a standard disagreement about where to eat dinner.
No, it is going to be bigger than that.
The real danger here is that your Leo pride might weaponize your values against your partner.
That is exactly it. It is not just fighting, it is pride.
Yes.
If your partner pushes back on something, your immediate reaction with this much fire energy is going to be, how dare you question me?
Precisely.
You might take a minor disagreement and blow it up into a battle of egos just to prove a point. It is like having a sports car with a massive engine. It feels great to go fast, but if you take a 90-degree turn without hitting the brakes, you're going to flip the car.
The advice from the Astro data is to consciously hit the brakes on July 29.
Just slow down.
Yes. Do not let the friction of the square ruin the clarity of the full moon. If an argument starts, take a step back. Ask yourself if you are actually mad about the issue or if your ego just wants to win. Patience is your greatest tool here to protect the connection.
And thankfully, the emotional weather changes completely a couple of days later.
It really softens up.
On July 31st, the moon moves out of the fixed air sign of Aquarius and enters the mutable water sign of Pisces.
That is a major shift in tone.
How so?
Well, Aquarius energy is highly intellectual and a little detached. It wants to analyze the relationship from a logical distance.
Like looking at it through a microscope.
Exactly. But Pisces is entirely about emotion, empathy, and dissolving boundaries. When the moon enters Pisces, that intense, dramatic fire energy starts to soften.
So the fireworks stop, and you just want to sit on the couch and connect on a soul level.
Exactly. You just want peace.
The friction turns into intimacy. You move from wanting to be admired by everyone to wanting to be deeply understood by one person. That is a beautiful way to end the week in the relationship zone.
It is a really nice ending to a loud week.
Now, let's take all this expanding Jupiter energy and aim it at your professional life, because the people you work with are absolutely going to notice this shift in you.
Oh, they cannot ignore it. The cosmic green light we see for your personal life is just as bright for your career.
Excellent.
That July 29 conjunction between the Sun and Jupiter happens in a part of the sky that heavily influences your public standing and your professional projects.
Okay, so what does that look like on the ground?
The astrological charts show you stepping into a position of natural authority. Bosses, clients, or anyone in a position of power is going to see your leadership skills very clearly.
But it is not just about the big flashy moments where you give a presentation and everyone claps, right? The daily reality of your work is also getting a massive boost.
Yes, the day-to-day stuff gets easier too.
Let's look at July 28. The charts show another benefic enclosure, but this time it is happening in Capricorn, which rules your daily routines and the actual grind of your job.
Capricorn is all about structure, discipline, and long-term building. It can sometimes feel heavy or restrictive.
Like you're just punching the clock.
Right. But because we have a benefic enclosure here, meaning this area of your chart is being shielded and supported by Venus and Jupiter, that structure suddenly feels incredibly supportive rather than restrictive.
It is the difference between feeling trapped in a routine and feeling like your routine is a machine that perfectly supports your goals.
That is a great way to phrase it.
The astro data suggests that your coworkers are going to be a huge part of this. You are going to feel this steady, productive rhythm, and the people around you are going to be happy to help you push your projects forward.
Which is essential because no week is entirely smooth.
Very true.
On July 30, we see a condition in the charts called malefic besieged. And this is happening in Aquarius, which relates back to your business partnerships, contracts, and negotiations.
Okay, malefic besieged. I want to break down how this works because it sounds terrible, but it is really just a temporary condition.
It is very temporary.
It is the exact opposite of the benefic enclosure we just talked about. Instead of being sandwiched between the helpful planets, a point in your chart is trapped between the difficult planets, traditionally Mars and Saturn.
Exactly. Mars brings conflict and impatience, and Saturn brings delays, walls, and cold reality.
Sounds like a fun party.
Not at all. When your business sector is besieged by these two, it means you are going to hit a frustrating roadblock. A client might suddenly pull out, a contract might get held up in legal review, or, a business partner might completely disagree with your vision.
Think of it like being a master chef who is completely ready to cook a 5-star meal. You have the skills, you have the vision.
You are ready to go.
But on July 30, you are forced to work in a kitchen where the knives are completely dull and the stove only has 2 settings totally broken or out of control inferno.
I love that analogy.
Your skills as a chef have not diminished at all. The Jupiter energy is still there. But the environment is temporarily hostile to your success.
That is the perfect way to look at it. The environment is the problem, not you. The biggest mistake you could make on July 30 is to take the delay personally.
Well, that would be bad.
If you try to force the issue using Mars energy, you are just going to create a bigger mess. If you let the Saturn energy make you depressed, you lose your momentum. You just have to wait out the bad kitchen conditions.
Put down the dull knife, step out of the kitchen, and try again tomorrow.
Exactly.
Because the overall financial picture for this week is actually incredibly strong.
It is very strong.
The Sun and Jupiter combination very frequently brings a sudden financial windfall. It could be a bonus, an unexpected check, or a brand new opportunity to expand your income streams.
You are going to feel very optimistic about money. But we have to return to the tension of July 29.
Oh, right, the square.
Yes. That Venus square Mars aspect does not just affect romance. It heavily impacts your finances.
How so?
Well, Venus rules the things we buy because we love them, and Mars brings impulsive action.
Right, so you get a bonus on Tuesday, and by Wednesday afternoon, you are convinced you absolutely need to buy a boat.
Or you decide to make a highly risky investment just because you feel lucky.
Because Jupiter makes you feel invincible.
Exactly. The Jupiter optimism combined with the Mars impulse is a dangerous combination for your bank account. The charts are giving a very clear warning. You must stick to a budget.
Don't buy the boat.
Do not buy the boat. Do not let the temporary high of the week trick you into making long-term financial commitments without reading the fine print.
Enjoy the green light in your career, but put a hard stop on impulsive spending.
Yes, be smart about it.
Now, as we move into the weekend, there's a beautiful chart on August 2 that I really want to analyze. The North Node forms a sextile to Chiron.
This is a very deep psychological transit. Let's look at the mechanics of it.
Okay.
Chiron is a minor planetary body, often called the wounded healer in astrology. In the ancient myths, Chiron was a centaur who was a master teacher and healer, but he suffered a wound that would never heal.
So he just had to live with it.
Right. He had to learn to live with the pain, and through managing his own pain, he became the greatest healer for others. In our charts, Chiron represents our deepest, oldest insecurities.
The things we try to hide because they make us feel inadequate.
Yes. And the North Node represents our true path forward, the direction our soul is trying to grow.
Where we are heading.
Exactly. When you have a sextile, that supportive 60-degree angle we talked about earlier, connecting your future path to your oldest wounds, it creates a massive opportunity for healing.
So how does this apply to a Leo's career this week?
It means that on August 2, you have the chance to finally let go of a professional insecurity that has been haunting you for years. Maybe early in your career, a boss told you that you were not a good leader. Or maybe you failed at a project and you have been carrying the shame of that failure ever since.
Just carrying it around like dead weight.
Right. This sextile is the universe offering you a bridge to walk over that pain. You realize that the failure actually taught you exactly what you needed to know to be successful now.
You integrate the wound instead of hiding from it. That is powerful.
It changes everything.
And it pairs perfectly with the final benefic enclosure we see on August 2, which is happening in Pisces, touching the sector of your chart related to shared resources, debts, and investments.
The weekend brings a profound wave of relief to your financial worries.
That is always nice to hear.
The protective bubble of Venus and Jupiter calms down the anxiety you might have about a loan, a tax issue, or how you are splitting resources with a partner.
So Sunday is the day to sit down with a clear head, pour a cup of coffee, and look at your long-term wealth goals.
It is the perfect day for that.
You survived the Pluto identity crisis, you navigated the Venus-Mars friction without buying a boat, and now you have the clarity to set up your future. That is a highly successful week.
It requires strategy, but the potential is massive.
So knowing that you're going to be operating at this incredibly high, expanding frequency all week, making big moves in love and money, who should you bring along for the ride?
That is a very important question.
And more importantly, who should you avoid? When we analyze the charts for compatibility, one sign stands out as the ultimate partner in crime this week, Sagittarius.
The alignment here is perfect.
Why is that?
Well, Sagittarius is a fellow fire sign, which means you already speak the same language of enthusiasm and action.
You guys just get each other.
Exactly. But the real key to this match is Jupiter. Jupiter is the natural ruling planet of Sagittarius.
Ah, so when the Sun and Jupiter form that massive conjunction in Leo on July 29, it's not just activating you. It is sending a shockwave of positive energy straight to Sagittarius too.
Exactly. You are both being fueled by the exact same lucky, expansive source. The resonance is incredible.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
It is. When you tell a Sagittarius your most ambitious, slightly crazy idea this week, they are not going to ask for a risk assessment report.
They won't shoot you down.
No, they are going to match your energy and help you brainstorm how to make it even bigger.
You will inspire each other.
Yeah.
And because we have that flowing trine to Neptune, adding a layer of dreams and imagination, a Sagittarius is going to help you tap into the adventure of it all.
They love adventure.
They really do. They want to explore the world, and this week, you want to conquer it. It is a brilliant pairing.
It is highly compatible. However, the exact opposite is true for another sign.
Okay, who is it?
The charts strongly suggest that the worst match for you this week is Taurus.
Let's analyze the friction here. Why is Taurus hitting a brick wall with Leo right now?
It comes down to the geometry of fixed signs. Leo and Taurus are both fixed signs, meaning they sit at a 90-degree square angle to each other on the zodiac wheel.
Oh, another square.
Right. We already talked about how a square brings tension and stubbornness. Neither of you naturally wants to compromise.
And right now, Taurus is going through a very different process than you are. We talked about Chiron, the wounded healer. Right now, Chiron is slowly moving through Taurus.
Which means Taurus is currently nursing some very deep wounds. regarding their sense of security, their value, and their resources.
So they are feeling kind of raw.
Very raw. They are feeling defensive and protective. They want to hold on to things to feel safe.
While you, with all this Jupiter energy, want to expand, take up space, celebrate, and maybe spend some money.
Exactly. It is a complete mismatch.
It is like trying to convince someone who is seasick to go on a roller coaster. You think it's going to be fun, but they are just trying to keep their balance.
That is exactly how it feels.
If you try to force a Taurus to match your big, loud energy this week, they're going to dig their heels in, and you're going to end up in a frustrating power struggle, which just feeds right back into that difficult Pluto energy we saw on Monday.
The kindest thing you can do for both of you is give them space. Let Taurus process their own healing in quiet, and you go enjoy the loud, joyful blessings Jupiter is bringing you. Do not force a connection where the geometry clearly shows a roadblock.
Save yourself the headache and go find a Sagittarius.
Seriously.
Now, as we look at the week as a whole, there are a few lucky elements the astro data highlights that you can carry with you. Your color of the week is gold.
Which is the most appropriate color possible.
I mean, obviously, right?
The sun rules gold, and with the Jupiter conjunction in your sign, you are quite literally stepping into a golden era.
Lean into it. Wear gold jewelry or a gold tie or whatever makes you feel like royalty, especially on July 29 when you need to project that authority.
It definitely helps set the mood.
The charts also point to some specific numbers carrying weight this week. Keep your eyes open for the numbers 5, 14, 23, 32, 41, and 50.
It is always interesting to see how those numbers manifest. It could be a time, a page number, or, a totally random pattern that pops up right when you are making a decision.
Exactly. Maybe it is the total on your grocery receipt, when you are carefully sticking to that budget and avoiding the Venus-Mars impulse buys.
Let's hope so.
So let's take a breath and look at the whole picture. This week is massive. You are starting by stripping away outdated parts of your identity with Pluto.
Yes.
You are hitting a profound moment of clarity in your relationships with the Aquarius full moon.
A huge breakthrough.
You have an absolute green light for career success, and you are being handed the most expansive, confident energy of the year with Jupiter.
The entire week is a masterclass in growth. The only thing you have to manage is your own pride and impatience.
Which is easier said than done.
It is. But when the friction hits, remember that you have nothing to prove. Just let the expansion happen naturally.
Here is a final thought I want you to mull over as you step into this week.
Okay, let's hear it.
With the geometry of the sky basically handing you a blank check of confidence, luck, and authority right now, what is the one dream you have kept hidden because you were too afraid you were not big enough to pull it off?
Oh, that is a big question.
Because looking at these charts, the universe is telling you that you are finally big enough. It is time to stop playing small.
That is the exact right question to ask. The door is open, you just have to walk through it.
Thank you so much for listening to the episode on Horoscope TV. We absolutely love analyzing these charts for you. Be sure to hit subscribe so you can get notified the absolute moment the next weekly episode is available. Have an incredibly powerful, lucky week, Leo.